Hello and welcome to our 12th session in which we are going to now design a robot. Now here our design concept is little different. In case of shampoo and in case of apple, it was already a product available in the market. I can see an apple, I can see a shampoo bottle. So I took the reference directly from a photograph and we modeled it. But this time we are going to design something which doesn't exist, which has not yet been created, and we are prototyping a robot. An artist is going to design the drawing of a robot and he is going to deliver it to us. And when he is designing, he will give what is known as profiling. Profiling means how this design of robot should look in the front view and in the side view. So now one of our designer has already designed this robot drawing and he has sent it to us, and it is our job now to give life to this robot and make it look as the designer wants it to be. So accepting this challenge, we will first have a look at the reference image or the reference drawing given to us from the designer. In the resources that I have provided to you, if you download it, I have given you an image robot_blueprint.png. If you double click and open it, you are now going to see a drawing like this. This robot is called as Jimmy and it has been created by an artist. Now in this case, I have to model this robot. When you observe this design, see, he has given us one front view and one side view and the position of the hand in two different positions. And also the most important thing is he has added some markers at the exact center of the model here, and also some lines are drawn here to indicate that this is the center. So having these references, now coming to Blender, I am going to select the default cube, press X and I am going to delete it. Now I will press numpad 1 and come into the front view, and now I will take the reference image provided to me and I am going to drop it into my screen. And coming into Blender, press G and I am now going to move it. So if required, I will zoom this. With shift middle mouse, I will pan it, and the very first thing is I will select it, press G and move it and place it exactly over the line here. So I will zoom it, I will press G, and when I am moving it, I am going to press shift and move it to precisely move it and place it exactly over my x-axis line. Now I will again zoom, I will press shift middle mouse and pan it up, I will zoom it. Now I will press G and X and I am going to move this, and you have a reference here at the neck. So this is our reference point. I will press G, X, and as I am moving, I will hold shift and I am going to move it and align this exactly to the center of my this z-axis. So now I have placed my robot correctly in my front view. I will press GY and I will slightly move it to the back, and also I will press 1 and come into the front view, and with this selected I will come into the image option over here, and here I am going to enable opacity and I am going to reduce its opacity to 0.5. This image I am going to call this as front view reference. I am going to select this image, press shift D and duplicate it, right click so that the image is duplicated and placed in the same position. I will press N and open my side view, and here in the transform I will press numpad 3 and come into the side view, and I will press GY and I am now going to move it. I will press R and along the Z axis I will rotate it by 90 degrees. Now my Z axis is already aligned. Now I have to align it Y axis. I will press GY, and as I move it here, I am going to just zoom it a little, press GY and as I move it, I will press shift and move it and align it exactly to the center of these lines. So now I have my side view ready, and if I press numpad 1, I have my front view ready. And I am going to come over here and I am going to call this as side view reference. And right now we have only 2. Similarly, if you had got a top view, we could have pressed 7 and we could have placed the top view here. And one thing is, when I have placed this here, I will press GX and move it slightly to the back and place it somewhere here, little to the back, just like this, so that I have the area here to create my model. I am now going to come over here, right click, and I am going to create a new collection, and I am going to call this collection as reference images. And I am going to select front view reference with control pressed side view reference. I will select both of this, and on your keyboard press the keyboard shortcut M, and now M will activate move to collection when you are in this outliner window, and pressing M, I am going to move these two things to the reference images. So now these two are inside a collection which we call as reference images. And I can come over here, I will enable both this display in viewport option and this selection option. So if you come over here, you have 4 selections now. And for this reference images, I can just click on this select icon and disable it. Press 1, I am seeing my front view image, and when I press 3, I am seeing the right view images. And right now, if I rotate and see it from profile, these 2 images are not visible. This is because if I come into reference images, I will enable select here, I will come over here, and if I select the front view reference, you can now see that it is enabled with show in orthographic. If I enable show in perspective here, you will see this in perspective also. But right now I will disable this, and then I will just come back and close this reference image, and I will click here, and I am going to disable selection, and I will now press 1 to see it in the front view, 3 to see it in the side view. And with this done, I will go into the file and I am going to click on save as. In my folder, I am going to now call this as 3_12 robot design stage 1. I will give it the name, and I am going to click on the save button. Now I will press 1 and come into the front view, and now we are going to start our modeling. And before that, I will come here, I will now come into this scene collection, and I will right click and create a new collection, and I am going to call this as Jimmy Robot. And we are going to build our model in this collection. So I will come into my view, press Shift S and see that the cursor is set to world origin, and in the mesh I am going to add a UV sphere. And then I will immediately press tab and come into the edit view. And see, all our editing we are going to do it in the edit view, and in the edit view I will press S and I will scale it down. With shift middle mouse I will move it up, I will press GZ and move this to the top, and I will also come into the wireframe mode and I will zoom this, and I will just press GZ and I will move it bottom, and I will press S and I will slightly scale it like this, so that I will press S and I will scale it and see that it fits exactly to the shape here. I will press GZ and move it a little more like this, and if required I will press S and I will slightly scale it, okay, and again press GZ and move it, so that this outline sits exactly on the outline of my trace. And after this, now I will press middle mouse and come down here, and I am going to select in the vertex selection mode the bottommost vertex, press 1 and come into the front view. And now if I press Ctrl numpad plus 1, 2, then 3, 4, 5, 6 selections. So I will select this 6 selections and then press X, and I am going to click on vertices. so that all the vertices are deleted. And now I am going to readjust this a little. I will press Alt and I will select this loop in this edge loop, then press G, Z, and then slightly I will move it to the top like this, so that it is aligned here. Then I will Alt click this edge and press G, Z, and I will slightly move it up like this. So I will move it up like this. Then I will press E, Z, and I will move it down a little like this. Then press S and scale it down a little. So I am going to just move this, and I will press Shift and scale it to precisely scale it. Say I will scale it this much. Then again I will press E, Z, and I will move it down, and I am going to again press S, and I am going to slightly scale it. I will press Shift and scale it to precisely scale it. Okay. Then I will press again E, Z, and move it down like this, this much. I will press S, and I am going to again press Shift, and I will scale it down like this much. I will scale it down this much. Then I will again press E, Z, and move it down to the next level here. Press S, and with Shift pressed I will scale it down like this. So thus I have this structure over here. Then I will turn this, and I am going to now press E, S, and I am going to scale it inside once like this, and then press F and fill it. Now if I come into the solid view and if I have a look at it, if I press Tab and if I see it in the object mode, now I have my head portion ready with the origin point at the center. Then I will come over here, and I am now going to call this as head. Now I will once click 3 and come into the side view also, and in the wireframe mode see that this is precisely placed. Okay. Press Tab and come into edit mode and press A to select everything, and G, Y, and I am slightly going to move it forward. So when I am making these changes, don't change it in the object mode. I will again press Tab and come into the object mode, so that its location should be here 0, 0, 0 only. Then I will press 1 and come into the front view. I am back in the object mode, and now for the lower part of this head, I will press Shift A, and I am going to add another UV sphere, and this time I will again press Tab and come into the edit mode, and in edit mode I will press S and scale this. Then I will zoom this, and I will press G and Z, and I will move it to the top like this, and if required I will press S and scale it, and then press G, Z, and move it to the top. I will then press S, SX, and I am going to move it like this. Okay. So I am going to set this like this, and after I make this, I am now in the edit mode. I am going to draw a box like this, and I am going to press X, and I am going to delete the vertices. Now after this, I will just rotate this, and I will press Alt, and I will press ES, and I will just scale it in like this a little. Then I will press ES again, and I will scale it. I will press F and fill it. Now finally with Alt pressed, I will select this final loop here, and I will press Ctrl B, and I am going to slightly bevel it like this, so that in the bevel section, say for example I will bevel it by around 0.02. And now if I press Tab, and if I press 1 and come into the front view, and if I just see this, see now I have this structure. Okay, this is placed perfectly fine. I will now press 3 and come into the side view, and in this view I will press Tab again, and I am going to come into the edit mode, and I am going to press A to select everything, and then G, Y, and I am going to move it. See, remember, do not move this in the object mode. You move it in the edit mode, so that all this object origin point is at the center. So if I press Tab and come into object mode, this origin point should be exactly at the center. If I press R and show it to you, see, and even this, the origin point, if I press R and see, it should be at the center. Now come over here, and for the second sphere, I am going to call this as head low, and then I will come into the front view and create this neck. It is very simple. I will just press Shift A and I am going to now add a cylinder, and only thing is, in this case of this cylinder, I will reduce its radius from 1 to something like 0.1. I will make it small, and then I will press Tab and I will come immediately into edit mode, so that the origin point is here. I will press GZ and I will move it to the top, and I will press S and scale it down. I will just zoom and I will press S and scale it down to match the size of the neck here. And after this, I am going to press SZ and I am going to scale it down to match this length. If required, I will press GZ and I will move it down like this, and I will see that this length, if required, I will again press SZ and I will scale it down a little more like this. I will press GZ and I will move it down like this. Okay, so I have set the position. I will move it a little more here to this position. Then I will press 3 and come into the side mode, and in the side mode you can see there is a slight tilt. So I will press R and I will slightly tilt it like this, press G and move it, and I am going to place it like this. So this is the neck part. Then I will press Tab, I will come into the solid mode, and now if I see this, so now I have this structure. I will press 1 and come into this, and I am going to call this structure here as neck. Shift middle mouse, I will pan it up, and now we are going to model this body, which is a little complicated structure, and for this we are going to start with a vertex. So that I will press Shift A and I can add any of the objects over here. Say for example, I will add a plane. I will press Tab and come into the edit view. I will press 7 and come into the top view, and with the vertex selected, I will select any one vertex like this, then press Ctrl I to select everything other, and I will press X and delete off the vertices. Now in this I have just one vertex. I will select this vertex, press 1 and come into the front view. You can see the vertex is here. I will press G and I will move it here, and I will just zoom and see that this is precisely placed to this corner. Then I will press 3 and come into the side view, and in the side view it is placed here. So now I will press G, Y, and I am going to move it and bring it and place it at this corner like this. See, I will place this like this. If required, I will press again GY and just move it a little more like this. Then now I am going to create this shape. I can actually add a straight line and use the proportional editing and pull it, but here I will do it manually. So I will press E and I am going to pull one vertex over here. So now then again I have two vertex now. I will press and pull the third vertex here, then I will pull the fourth one here, I will pull the fifth one here, I will pull the sixth one here, then seventh one here, then eighth I will pull it here, then ninth here, then 10th here, then 11th here, and 12th here. So now if I press A and see it, I have 12 vertices. Now only thing is, I want all these vertices to be placed at equal distance. So we already have a tool for this. If I right click and if I come into loop tools, and if I choose the option space, then you can see all these vertices are now equally placed. Now I will select this vertex at this point, then again I will press A, and now I am going to trace this part. A once, twice, then thrice. I will press G and slightly I have to trace this part here. Okay, I will press E and I will pull it here 5, then 6, then I will pull it here 7, then 8, then 9. I will select this, press and move 10 here, then 11, then here 12, then here I will move it 13, then here 14, here 15, this one 16, 17, 18, then 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, and now finally I will select this vertex and this vertex, two vertex, I will press F and I am going to connect it. So, now I will just press control and I am going to click here and select this like this. With control clicked I am selecting it, so that all these vertices are selected. So, I will select it till this path, and after I select this, now again I will right click here and in loop tools choose space, so that they are equally spaced. I will press 1 and come into the front view, and only thing is in this the profile is not matching. So, press 3 and in the side view this is perfect. So, now our trace is over. Now, I will press A and I will select everything, right click, and in loop tools I will again enable space, so that they are equally spaced. Every vertex is equally placed, and then I will press 1 and come into the front view, and in the front view you can see that this is not exactly matching. If required I will press G here, Z, and I will slightly move it down and match this over here. And the next thing is, here I want this line to be curved like this. So, for this I am going to select the topmost vertex here, press 1, and then I will come here and enable proportional editing, and in that I am going to choose the option sharp, and then press G and I will move it. And when I bring it to this position, I am going to change this influence area like this, so that it almost matches this curve. See, it should match this curve like this. So, like this I will match it. Now, only thing is there is one point here. I am going to select this, press G, and I have to reduce the influence area here, and I am going to just adjust it to bring it and place it somewhere here, so that you have this curved space. So, if I click and turn it, so I have a shape like this. So, I will press 3 and see it. There is a slight change in this part. This also has come down. I will just press A everything, press G, Z, and I will slightly S, Z, and I will slightly scale it like this, press G, Z, and I am going to move it like this, and I am going to select this tip and I will move it down here, and I will come into front view and see that this profile is almost matching this. So, now one thing is there is a slight shift here. So, what I will do is I will again select this point, press G, X, and this time press G, and as I am moving I am going to just change the influence part here. So, I will slightly adjust it here and move it to this point, and now if you see this, so I have got this approximate shape. So, there is a slight mismatch. Let us adjust this later. I will see that this profile is perfectly matched, and now I will press 1 and come into the front view, and only thing now I want is I want this entire section to be mirrored. So, I will press tab and I will come over here and I am going to call this plane as body, and then in modifier I will come into search and I am going to now add a mirror modifier, and I am going to mirror it along the x axis. So, once I have mirrored it in x axis, I will press tab and I will press A to select everything, and then I am going to extrude it. If I press E and along the x axis when I extrude it, you can see this extrusion is happening, but only thing is I will stop this extrusion, come over here, and in mirror I will enable clipping, and then now if I press, it is already extruded. So, I will press G, X, and I am going to move it like this, and at the point where both comes and meets like this, see the clipping is going to happen. So, I will just drag it and clip these 2 points together, and then now if I come into the solid mode and if I see this, okay, we have approximately got this body shape. I will press numpad 1 and come into the front view, and now only thing is I am going to select, alt click and select this entire loop, I will press scale Z and I will slightly scale it along the Z axis like this. Then press GZ and I will move it like this, so that this matches this profile. See here, like this. Then I will press SZ and I will slightly scale it, and I am going to make it match this profile. So, if required, I will select everything A and I will press SZ and I will slightly pull it down, and similarly even here. Okay, so this is almost perfectly placed. Now, only thing is I need this portion to be curved. So, for this I have to add a few more loops here. I will just press Ctrl R and I am going to add approximately say 3 loops. I will add 3 loops here. Click once and right click to place it at this point. Then what I will do is I will come to the top here, and in the top I am going to select a vertex here. So, I will select this vertex, and if required I will slightly move it to align it with this. Then I will with selecting this vertex I will come into the front view, and now I will enable proportional editing, and here I am going to enable smooth. And now if I press GZ and if I reduce the influence area and if I pull it like this, see, you are going to see this curvature. See, I will just make this like this. So, I will slightly add a curvature like this. See, I got this curvature. Then I will press A to select everything, disable proportional editing, then SZ and slightly scale it, so that this sits the body part. So, now if I press tab and if I see it, this body part is now fine. We have to close this with a face. So, I will press tab here. See, normally I can just press Alt and select this entire loop and press F and close this, but this is a wrong procedure. I will come into edit and I will undo it, because I have to close this with quads, because later on if I add subdivision surface we will have the issue. So, for this what I will do is I will press Alt and I will select this loop and then press Ctrl I and press H to hide everything, so that I have only this area now. Now, I will press A to select everything, and on this bottom bar I am going to right click and choose scene statistics, and you can now here see that this has 37 vertices. So, now to create quad faces here, this should be an even number. So, for that what I will do is I will select any 2 vertices over here. I am going to now right click and choose subdivide. So, now I got an extra vertex, and if I press A now you can see that it has 38 vertices, and again I will right click, I will come into loop tools and I will click space, so that these are evenly arranged. And now let us start building this face as quads. So, now I will click on this vertex with Control, I will click till here. Then I will press 3 and come into the right view, and I will press E and along the Z axis create a slight extrusion like this, and then here I am just going to select these 4 vertices here and press F to fill it, and then these 4 vertices here and I am going to press F to fill it. Now, again I will click this with Control click, I will click here, I will select this, and again I will press E and I will scale it a little like this. Then again I will press E and scale it till here, and if required I will slightly rotate it and also scale it if required. See, if required I will slightly rotate it like this. Then again press E and move it till here, till this point, and then again E and I am going to just drag it, and I am going to rotate it like this, or I am going to scale it down like this, and I will press G and I will slightly move it down like this. So, when I am moving it, remember I will select these 4 now and I will press F and fill this. So, similarly this 4 now and I will press F, this 4 now and I will press F, and this 4 now and I will press F. Okay, so same thing I am going to do here. I will press these 4 now and I am press F. This 4 now press F. This and this press F, and now next this and this press F, and now I have got a shape like this. Now again I will click here, with control click I will come till here, I will press 3 and come into the right view, and again now I will press E and pull it up like this, and I will just scale it down a little like this, and only thing is I am going to select this vertex and move it out, and I am going to spread it out a little like this. See, I will spread this like this, and then I am now going to again here select this and this, and I will press F to fill it, this and this, and I will press F to fill it. Okay. So now I will again click from here to here, and I will actually press 3 and come into the front view, and I will just extrude it again a little like this and move it out like this. Now here I am missing one cycle here, so that's why what I will do is I will press G and slightly move it down, and I will select 1, 2, 3 and 4 these vertices, press F, 1, 2, 3 and 4 and fill this F, and from here control click till here and press E and move it now like this till here, and then again I will select these 4 points, press F, select these 4 points and press F, and then again from here control click till here, press E and extrude it, and again I will select 1, 2, 3 and 4 and press F, again I will select 1, 2, 3 and 4 and I will press F, and then I will make one more extrusion till press control and click here, click, I will click till here, press E and pull it up like this, if required scale it down a little, press G and move it to the top, and now I will select 1, 2, 3 and 4 and I will press F, I will select these 4, 1, 2, 3 and 4 and I will press F, and then I have this final part, and for this final part I will select these faces like this, press F, then I will select these 4 here and press F, I will then select these 4 here and I will press F, I will select these 4 here and press F, select this with shift pressed, these 4 I will select and press F, and similarly now I am having some, I have 1, 2, 3 and 4, this 4 and I will press F, then I will select this 4 and I will press F, and since we have chosen even number of vertices, I get all this 4, and now I have got this face ready. See, to smoothen this surface, this is appearing, see here, see it is not smooth at all. So, to smoothen this I will press A and select everything, with shift alt I will click the outer surface like this, so that the outer ring is not selected. So, similarly here if required I will type C and I will not select this outer faces, I will right click and cancel this. Now, with this selected I will right click here and I am going to choose smooth vertices. So, when I click on smooth vertices and I am going to repeat it 2, 3, 4, 5. If required I will repeat this some, say for example around 30 times. So, when I repeat it some 30 times, see this appears more smoother. And after this, now if I press Alt H, all other types are now unhidden. I will press tab and come into the object mode, and now I can see that I have got this smoothened structure. So, I have this smooth structure, and if required I will right click and apply shade auto smooth, and I can now see that this surface is appearing fine. And now here if I press 1 and if I enable the reference image, in the reference image if I come into the wireframe mode, you can see a small gap or a cut here. So, this cut is what we are now going to create. I will just temporarily off this mirror, and then see you can see this surface here. So, I will now select two vertices, say I will turn here and I will select these two vertices at the front and also press SZ0 so that they are straight. Then similarly, I will also take two vertices that are present here, press SZ0 to make it straight. So, after this making this straight, I will press 1 and come into the front view, and in the front view now, so I am now going to actually off this reference image, and what I want now is I will enable solid view and I will press 1 and come into front view, or I will press Ctrl 1 and go into back. I will come into edge mode by pressing 2, select this edge, and I will press GG and I will slightly move it down like this to create a face like this, and if required I will select this face, I will press GG and I will slightly move it like this, and also now I will select this, I will come into vertex selection mode, I will select these two, press scale Z0 and I will make it straight. Okay, now the same thing I am going to do it at the front. I will again click here and control click till here to select all these vertices, then press GX and I will slightly move it and I will make this straight like this. So, this should be straight, and only thing is this vertex has moved to the side. I will press G and move it back and bring it to this position. I will come into edge mode and I will select this edge, and now I will press GG and I will slightly move it down, and if required I will press 1, enable my reference image and see that this gap is equal to this, and also I will select this edge and I will press GG and I will move it to the side like this, and also I will select this vertex, these two vertex, this and this, and I will press SZ0 to make it straight. So, I have a straight cut here and this moves throughout like this. So, now what I am now going to do is I will now select all the vertices from here. I will press Ctrl and I will click till here. So, I will select all these vertices here, press X and I am going to delete it. So, now I have a cut here. So, I have created a cut. So, after I create the cut, I will start from here. I will control click till here, and after I click it, I will press 1 and come into the front view, or I will slightly move it like this, and I will press E and I am going to extrude it along the Z axis a little like this. So, I will create a extrusion like this. So, after I create this extrusion, so I have to now select 1, 2, these two faces, then shift click and I will select 3 and 4. I will select these 4 and I will press F and close this. So, similarly here 1, 2, 3 and 4, and I am going to press F and close this. Then I am then going to select this entire loop. I will click Alt and I will click from here this end. I will control click till here to select this entire loop, and then I am going to now press E, and along the X axis now I am going to move this. So, when I am moving it, I will just move it a little, then enable this mirror and when I enable this mirror, and now if I press GX and if I move it, see both of them come here and they are going to close. Now I can now see throughout I have got this cut. So now I have created this face that is required at the bottom. So we got this face done. I will press 1 and come into the front view, and similarly if I come into the wireframe, I have to create a similar face over here. Okay, so now I will disable this toggle and I will come back to solid view and I will view it once. I will also select this and press SZ0 to make it straight. I will select this edge and type SZ0 to make it straight. I will select this edge and type SZ0 to make it straight. I will select this and I will type SZ0 to make it straight. So I will make some of these vertices straight, and similarly even this one I will type SZ0 and make it straight. I will select this and make SZ0 straight until here. This also I will type SZ0 and make it straight. So now I have created this, and similarly here I will select all these vertices, that is I have it in this line till here. I will select this and I am going to type SX0 to make this straight. So this is straight now. Now I will come into face selection mode and I am going to select all these faces, see till this face here. I am going to select these faces like this, and then I am now going to press E and I am going to move it inside like this. See, I will just pull it in like this and I will create a slight extrude like this, and if I press tab and see it, so now I have this structure over here. So actually I am missing this head low and neck. If I enable this and see it, I will also select this and I will enable shade auto smooth. I will select this and enable shade auto smooth. To make this appear better, I will come into this renderer and I will enable cavity, and this is going to show the edges a little better. Click save to save this file. This file is 13_12 robot design stage 1.blend. I have saved this, and so let us continue this in our next session.